Aiello is a senior director at the Governmental Affairs at the National Taxpayers Union. As we take a live look here at the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street here, as opening bell is roughly a minute and a half from ringing, so they got to move out in this area here. You can see "Make IPOs Great Again" on the sign right behind them in the right. So if you're wondering, hey, there's a red hat, "Make IPOs Great Again." That from the Securities and Exchange Commission. So, and the flag obviously flanking their left side, their right side, your screen left. As we watch opening bell, Peter, talk to us about this. As this rings, the gas prices finally dropping below $3. I mean, I didn't know when this was going to happen. I track it each and every day, and for years now, since the pandemic. And we now see that $2 price point. Talk to us about this. Is this good news? Is this a downward trend?
I would say it's not good news. It's great news. Below $3 for the first time since 2021 delivers a lot of relief at a moment when disinflation seems to have stalled out a little bit. And it reflects, this change reflects cheaper crude, strong U.S. production, a lot of refinery production, that sort of thing. And it's not only good for consumers, but also more broadly, it's one of the most visible things that one of the most visible signs of the economy of progress. So for that reason, it's not only great for consumers, it's also great marketing for the administration, but also it just shows that, getting the government out of the way and using the resources at our disposal has positive effects.
Well, as opening bell begins to ring here, the applause begins. You can applaud for the gas prices. That bell rings and the pain at the pump lowers. Tommy, I think it deserves a beat to just hone in on that. I mean, from where we came in 2021, and we watched those gas prices skyrocket, and now we're finally seeing under $3 a gallon. I mean, I'm looking over here. I see Oklahoma. As opening bell rings now, I've got Oklahoma around $2.40 a gallon. It's lower in other places, if you go specifically in. But the national average below $3. Talk to me, Tommy.
I mean, it's great news, right? This is what the president wanted, but it's not just because of what he wanted. It's because how we got here. And what did we do, right? We opened up more lands for oil, for drilling, to bring more oil to market. There's a lot of great things in the president's one big beautiful bill. That's his working families tax cut, lowers the royalty rate that drillers have to pay on federal lands. That's great. And more lease sales so we can unlock more American oil to bring to market. But California, for example, their oil is still, their gasoline is $4.50. That's 50% higher than the national average. It just shows you when government gets in the way, things get more expensive. Get government out of the way, things will become cheaper.
It is pretty odd. I mean, you go through the chart. It's really easy to do. It's red states are down, blue states are up. But, you make of that what you will. Let's talk about Christmas and pricing, obviously, thinking about maybe giving gifts to those in your family, your loved ones, your friends. But before you do, you'll need a tree to put the presents under. Those who are in the market to purchase an artificial Christmas tree may have to spend more this year because of tariffs. This is from the NPR. Nearly all artificial Christmas trees are imported from China. And although manufacturing costs for the trees remain steady, the price vendors pay to the United States Customs has increased. Mac Harmon, founder and CEO of Balsam Hill, that's an artificial Christmas tree company, said this: whatever price point you might have been looking at last year, expect that to be about 10% to 15% more this year. Peter, thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not very surprising. I mean, most of the fake plastic trees are imported and they will have tariffs on them. But also China is seeing a deflation right now. So they're struggling to increase revenues for a lot of companies. So those prices have gone up. For families, of course, that means tighter holiday budgets and some increases there. But not to necessarily link these, but lower gas prices will offset some of that increase. So there's relief amid that source of hardship.
Yeah, or you know what? Just buy a real tree if you can, because then you're supporting local. We're seeing obviously some positivity there in the movement on Wall Street right now as we opening bells just about a couple of minutes ago. Talking about tariffs, the president put out a long worded truth, so I'm not going to read it all, but essentially he talked well about the tariffs. He talked about what the Supreme Court, and here it is on your screen just for your reference and your sourcing. But he talked about what the Supreme Court justices essentially have in their laps right now, and how this is a pivotal moment. Tommy, can you talk to that?
It really is a pivotal moment. We're expecting it's possible that the Supreme Court could rule by the end of this month, possibly in January, about the legality of the president's tariffs. And, aside from the legality of it, it's having a real harmful impact on the American economy. Christmas trees is just one example. I actually purchased an artificial tree a couple of weeks ago, and my wife and I, we had a bit of sticker shock when we saw it because it was that much more expensive than last year. So it's having a real impact for people, and that's the first thing people see at Christmas time. We've brought in about $400 billion worth of new tax revenue because of these tariffs. The president can say foreign countries pay it, companies pay it. At the end of the day, me and millions of your viewers are paying the tariff, not foreign countries. So if we actually want to continue this downward trend of prices, cutting tariffs is a great way to do it. And hopefully if the Supreme Court rules that way, we'll be able to continue that trend in a more forceful manner.
Wait, so you want the Supreme Court to strike down tariffs?
Absolutely right.
I think that's the best thing. When you look at what the law actually says, what they're actually reviewing, IEPA, the president, that law has no tariffing authority in that law. So I think that's what the Supreme Court is looking at.
They're saying it's being argued,
there's nowhere in the statute that says the president has the ability to tariff. If he wants to tariff, there's many other statutes the president can refer to, but in this regard, it's not there.
And Peter, you feel the same?
Absolutely do. Yes. Interfering with trade in that regard only winds up taking out of our pockets, and most of those monies generated are going to come out of consumer pockets at some point or another along the chain.
I'm on my own island, I guess. I mean, I can see the benefit of it. I can see maybe potentially coming down and moving the money elsewhere. Maybe federal taxes, bringing those down, right? Finding more companies here to be built in America, buying local, obviously buying American, so you don't have to import as much. It is a very complex situation because if they did strike that down, how do you go back and repay what you've already collected? Either way, both sides, their points are being made. Peter Earl joining us, Tommy Aiello, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You got it.